know where Sarush is. Long time no see, stranger.
Yes, like been covering a lot of miles around here. So,
You've been
yeah,
covering a lot of miles.
yeah, yeah. Trying to
Yeah,
get
I
more
figured like man, Moore must be busy.
family straight. Yeah, still rough, but so I'm making through. We're making it through. It's good to be able to sit down for a day. Good to be back. It's good to be
Islam.
back. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's up. All right.
Huh.
I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
See how it go. Um, well, give Sarush a chance to get in here. I'm gonna play a song. I don't know which one.
Okay. Cool.
Let me see, because everybody else plays music. I'm gonna play some music. Let me see.
Okay. All right.
Uh, well, I have Kudjo stuff, so I guess I'll play that. Where is it? Come on, give me something. What is this? I'm gonna go with Iron Sheik 1. And I'm just gonna go with track 7 and see what happens.
Serious? Nah, you know. No, for real. For real? Serious. Iron Sheik. Sentenced to die or learn. In this body tomb, fallen angel manifested in flesh through the womb. Must make my way back. Can't just lay back. Caught up in this world, chasing some stray cat. Know thyself is my purpose and discipline. Showing youth they're not at risk. No need for riddling. Those lost in the church, no need for middlemen. For those smoking reefer, no need for giggling. Playtime is over. Syrian beings looking with eyes where eyes does all of the seeing. I heard first things first, man. You're fucking with the worst. They take your soul needle in your head by the Nazi nurse. Extracted for Bill Gates pills of melatonin. No beef pioneers for the elite. I know them. I'm making the children of humanity. Cares not for the world of balance and duality. Man-made laws, they push on the public. Master teacher said my brass skin, it's rusted. That was Marcus Garvey as the wind gusted. Popo plant drugs and guns to get us busted. Seeing inside the warehouse of the walls. Controlled by the warden and KKK guards. Overseeing the shadow stock and box lock. Inside won't see the cops that got Sean Bell shot. Incarceration is not serving as rehab. Come off a 10-year bid, your people like he's mad. No more heroin, it's crack now. No 6-shooter chromes, gats are black now. It's MP3, they did the CD with technology. They got cameras in your TV. 12-year-olds got adult breasts and ass. Cause the steroids is transferred to them from the cows. Oranges got no seeds, they kill no disease. They prescribe pills, say come back in weeks. Klansmen stepped up from suits, left the sheets. To kill Moors or make them do dead time for weeks. Stakes are high, live or die. Get shot on the TTC or crash or ride. Let go of this vesture, leave the husk. When the astro project, it's leaves and dust. Stakes are high, live or die. Get shot on the TTC or crash or ride. Let go of this vesture, leave the husk. Where the astro project, it's leaves and dust.
All right. That was track 7 off of Iron Sheik, the debut album, number 1. Available at califamedia.com/storefront. All right. So I don't know where Sarush is, so I'm gonna get started. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I gave him a full 2 minutes. That's enough. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Islam Yoni Melanin, thank you for stopping in. All right. Okay. Start with the opening. Okay. Islam, greetings and welcome to Talk Moorish to Me, a Moorish talk. I am Sister Zahra of CalifaMedia.com and the purplepaperclip.com. With me is brother Abir Kanan L of 43rdbooks.com. And hopefully joining us soon will be brother Sarush L of madebysarush.com. And this is our weekly chat discussing Moorish consortium or the lack thereof through the lens of Moorish science, including astrology, history, and Moorish literature. To those joining live and those who will enjoy this at a later date, again, welcome and gratitude for your interest and attention. All right. Okay. And the scripture for tonight, because the chat is we're going to be looking at synastry, right? Which yes, it's used to like, do relationship compatibility, but you can also use it for like business and all that stuff, right? And friendship.
Okay.
And it's even good to like for your children, right? To see if you're gonna for family planning, that kind of thing.
Cool.
Okay. So the chapter I'm going to read is chapter 20, Holy Instruction, from the Holy Quran, Circle 7, chapter 20, Holy Instructions and Warning for All Young Men. All right. Beware, young man, beware of all the allurements of wantonness, and let not the harlot tempt thee to excess in her delights. The madness of desire shall defeat its own pursuits. From the blindness of its rage, thou shalt rush upon destruction. Therefore, give not up thy heart to her sweet enticements, neither suffer thy soul to be enslaved by her enchanting delusions. The fountain of health, which must supply the stream of pleasure, shall quickly be dried up, and every spring of joy shall be exhausted. In the prime of thy life, old age shall overtake thee. The sun shall decline in the morning of thy days. But when virtue and modesty enlighten her charms, the luster of a beautiful woman is brighter than the stars of heaven, and the influence of her power it is in vain to resist. The whiteness of her bosom transcendeth the lily. Her smile is more delicious than a garden of roses. The innocence of her eyes is like that of a turtle. Simplicity and truth dwell in her heart. The kisses of her mouth are sweeter than honey. The perfumes of Arabia breathe from her lips. Shut not thy bosom to the tenderness of love. The purity of his flame shall ennoble thy heart and soften it to receive the fairest impressions. And that is chapter 20, Holy Instructions and Warnings for All Young Men from the Holy Quran, Circle 7. And I picked that one because of the whole enchanting delusions thing. All right. Any comments on that before I go in? No? Okay. All right. So I picked that one because of the delusion part. To the astrology. Uranus recently, not Uranus, Neptune recently went direct. All right. It's been retrograde for quite a little while now. So people have like been giving more consideration to things. They haven't been able, it's been harder to, it's actually it's been harder to get people to fall for stuff, which is probably why this whole, Novid thing didn't work out the way it should have, which, I mean, if I'm going by the astrology, this was supposed to be 9/11 part 2. The energy they used to get TSA as normal, how people just fell in line with that. They thought that was 19 years later. They tried this mess. They do this every like 19, 20 years, right? And it didn't work this time. And I'm guessing because the planet of delusion was retrograde, so people weren't looking. Those rose-colored glasses were lifted for a second, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And now,
that makes sense.
the North Node is in Taurus. It's like no matter what you're looking at it, true node, mean node, whatever, it's actually in Taurus right now.
Okay.
And it's coming up on Uranus, which is also just recently gone direct, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to an astrologer talk today. Actually, I've been listening to a lot of them, and they were talking about the whole North Node part. And they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be usually North Node is when people like they re-examine or establish or improve or go after value in wherever Taurus falls in their chart, like whichever house is in Taurus in their chart. That's what they're gonna be they're gonna be going, obsessively going after value in that area, because North Node are your obsessions, right? South Node is in Scorpio. So supposed to be leaving behind scorpionic stuff. Like lack of research, because Scorpios are the detective. So stop, glossing over stuff. You have to actually do your research.
Right.
Loss of secrets. So a whole bunch of stuff is about to come out, and it's already happening. I've been asking Moors lately, like, have you noticed all of these paintings of Moors coming out lately? Where have they been? That's my question. So a bunch of secrets are coming out. And there's a lot of them. Like, where has this stuff been? So the other thing, North Node or South Node, leaving behind trauma, or crisis. What else? Debts, no more taxes, that kind of thing. And when I'm doing astrology, I ain't thinking about anybody else. I'm only thinking about the in my opinion, and based on my studies, the only ones that's really supposed to be here, right? Which is why a lot of stuff that people like, well, that's not true in my chart, because it's not talking about you,
Right.
Right. So the other one is it's gonna be a loss of the fruits of intercourse, and I actually am seeing that too, right? With this whole opioid thing, right? People losing their children.
Yes.
And then I was watching another one today. A woman, an astrologer, was talking about Uranus's part in all of this. And I'm like, wow, it's right. Nobody's been talking about Uranus really. And she was like, yeah, it's not gonna come up on Uranus for a minute, but it is getting ready. It's gonna eventually get there. So I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on right now, or what you can expect. And the first thing she did was started going through the timeline of the last time the nodes were in these positions on the Taurus Scorpio axis, either North Node or South Node, right? So she was like, yeah, the years that it was, you can look at it and see yourself to see what was going on these dates. And she started with 1976. And she said that Microsoft was founded. Or no, she was like, every time the North Node crosses, it wasn't Taurus and Scorpio. She was saying every time the North Node encounters Uranus, is something that increases human detachment from nature. That's not exactly how she put it, but that's how I heard it. Yeah. And you're like, listen to the list. Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Because she was like, yeah, it's not just the nodes being in Taurus and Scorpio, but that's going to have a bigger impact, right? And she started like, yeah, when it was in Capricorn and Cancer, this happened. When it met up in these sign, or what was it, Aries and Libra, this happened, right? So she was going down the list. So the nodal conjunction with Uranus, all right? So one was in 1976. Microsoft was founded, right? The next one that she listed was in 1991. And that was the year the first website ever was launched.
Okay. All right.
I mean, whoa, right? That's big. Monumental.
Right.
07 through 08, Facebook launched.
Right.
The iPhone came out. And the Kindle came out. I remember because I bought all three and I used them to sign up on Facebook. I remember it.
Okay.
I remember because they made us sign up for Facebook at my job, right? I'm like, this is stupid.
Okay.
But I got the first iPhone, and I remember I got my bonus and I got the first Kindle. So I'm just like, that's crazy. Yeah, and it's weird because in 91, that's the year I started high school. It's like, what's going on? And so now she's saying the next conjunction is the one coming up right now, this year, right? And
you started high school.
Remember, there's always shadows you got to deal with. What were you saying?
Right.
Sorry about that.
Excuse me for cutting me off. Excuse you.
No,
I apologize. I was just trying to mention you started high school in 91.
Yeah.
Okay. So you graduated in 95.
That's correct.
All right. I know you're right along with my wife and my baby sister. Okay, that's all right. I got you now.
Yep.
I understand. I got you.
Yeah, we should all get in a room and have a conversation with you. Just you.
Yeah, man, for me it was 95. Okay,
did that sound like a threat?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like I said, I know you all very well. That was
well, you probably won't have to say much,
yeah. At all. at all. That's
Right.
that's for sure. But okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, that was '07. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Facebook,
actually I was teaching
iPhone, and Kindle. Yeah.
I was teaching English at a junior college, and I started to uh, try to get all my students on Facebook, and it was so new that it scared the other professors, the other faculty. They were like, "Wait, we don't normally do that." And I was like, "But this would make things easier if everybody was on the same page." But anyway, I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, so I get it. I get it. It was groundbreaking though. It was
Yeah, which is
groundbreaking.
exactly what it was supposed
Yeah.
to be because dude bit it off of Harvard because they had that going on at
Right.
Harvard.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
this was made for schools. you know.
Exactly. Well,
And we see what
yeah,
that
that's
resulted
interesting.
in. You
Okay.
know, how
Right.
many, I don't know if you watch Maury, I used to. How many of these women they ask, so how did you meet this guy that's supposed to be the father? Facebook.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
whoa. So
Absolutely.
that was monumental, right? Now the new
Absolutely.
one,
And
oh, go ahead.
mhm. No,
Go
no, no.
ahead, you
Please,
said something.
please keep it on. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because
So
I want you to keep your flow. Please go ahead. Hmm.
remember you see shadows of stuff, right? Especially these,
Right.
I don't really use the outer planets, but I find this very interesting what's going on. Because after she read her list, I went through and looked up some stuff too. But so you can see stuff like the further it is away, the further away the planet is, the sooner you'll be able to feel the its energy, right? So Mercury,
Mm.
right? Depending on where it's falling, you can probably feel the Mercury retrograde coming 2 weeks early, right?
Yeah.
Saturn is way out
A
there.
week
So
to
you
be
might feel
listening.
that coming maybe 2 months early, right? Um,
You saw we going retrograde with Saturn this year, right? So you saw that,
oh, what? No. Yeah, okay.
right? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
I'll read
yeah,
them
you
up.
just
I
gave
got
me
a
some
whole little
homework.
list for 'em. Yeah, I can run them off for you
Hey,
quickly.
can you drop it in the
I got them.
Telegram?
Absolutely.
Because that sounds like it's
Absolutely.
about to be another
Absolutely.
show. Because I was actually thinking maybe we
Yeah.
should do that. Because our new year is coming up. Maybe we should do a new year forecast because we got 2 months to do it. you
Absolutely.
know.
Absolutely.
And I don't
June
like
4th to
surprises.
October 23rd.
Okay,
June 4th to
thank you.
October
Because that that
23rd.
that that still don't sound like enough notice, but thank you. For
And
real.
then
Thank
Jupiter
you.
goes to retrograde after that. Yeah. Jupiter goes to
Oh,
retrograde after that.
yeah. So
Right.
yeah. So you know what? This chat can keep on being relationships because we need to be talking about the craziness that's about to be on display,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know. It ain't got nothing to do with us, but you got to learn how to dance around it, you know. And the best
Yes.
way is to see it coming, right? But
And,
nah, this whole
when I was reading up on it, it was like, so often that people look at, Saturn being, a
of course
malevolent
they do.
planet. And it was like, when it's in retrograde, it's really supposed to draw you to pay attention to what's going on as opposed to, you know, letting things just fly. But when I was reading it, I was kind of like, what you mean by that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Saturn is sitting in my fourth, in my 10th right now. I think it's just like it's not, just
I'm gonna show you why
chilling.
they say Saturn is bad. You got it? Are you on Telegram?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
can get it there right now.
I'm dropping a picture of Saturn from Vedic astrology,
Okay,
their deity.
and that's where the info came from, the Vedas too.
His
Okay,
name is
I'm waiting.
Shani.
I see.
This is why he's malefic. It's a few reasons, but this is like the first one. Can you see him?
All right, not yet. You dropping the talk more to me, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm
All
sorry. I sent
right.
it to Sarush. My fault.
All right.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sent
Cool.
it. Why am I in this thing? I thought it. Okay, let me try that again. Okay. Shani. That's Shani. That's the
There it is.
that's the
Right.
Vedic deity of Saturn.
Isn't that
Shani
interesting?
rules dark-skinned people, right? So of course people
Ain't
are
that
scared of them.
something?
That's one. And then Shani makes
That
you
is
work.
powerful right there.
Shani enslaves. The rings, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
powerful right there.
yeah. He's not. Shani is not malefic. It's not. You get the juiciest fruit from if you give Saturn what he wants, right? Because all he wants is Saturn's
Wow.
like that father. He's like that tough love, like a father who's like a like my father, a drill sergeant, right? And people are
Wow. I
like,
got
wow,
to
you
go back
work
and
ethic.
relook
I
at
was
that.
raised by a drill sergeant. Praise Allah.
Wow.
I can't say
See,
I
I got to
enjoyed
go
it.
back and really redo that. Yeah, I got to go because what I found with it sitting in my tent is to make everything move slow, and pretty much that was like the lesson. It kept saying like, don't get don't look at it begrudgingly. Just
Right.
understand that you can't force it. So just let it do what it's doing. You don't have to go fast. Let it flow like it's flowing, and
Yep.
uh, and, and it'll take care of itself. And so that was like the wisdom I got from it. I was like, why would I try to push hard if the universe is obviously saying, if this planet is sitting here, just go slow.
Right.
What are you rushing for? Right? Yeah. What are you rushing
Right.
for?
You know
Right.
how
Yeah. Yeah.
retrogrades, you do anything, you put re in front of what you're trying to do, right?
Right.
With Saturn,
Right.
either use st as the suffix or the prefix. So you tell me out you want to work? Nope. Stop. Sit
Mm.
still. I'm not joking. That's
Oh, that's
Saturn
deep.
rules those words. Right? I'm telling you.
Wow.
And I mean, wherever he is, that's what you're supposed to do. Study. What do you do when you study, right? You got to sit still.
And that's
I
really,
mean, you listen to that stuff, right? For
right.
real.
And that's really what it's been, making me do for the most part because so much has been going on, and the retrograde has been like literally Venus came and just literally just kicking me down the street. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but
Oh, yes, I know what you're
not in a
saying.
bad way, but just like just a lot of the heavy emotional stuff. 1 minute to the next, 1 minute, and being stuck, ready to do something, and then somebody say, "Hold on, not yet." Like if you imagine like somebody at the Olympics, they about to run a 100-yard dash, and they tell them stop, just hold on a second, and then they just sit there for like 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. You see what I'm saying? That kind of mentality, like I'm ready to go, but it's better to stop. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry though. I don't
Oh,
want
no,
to
you
cut
good.
off.
No, I'm right there with you with the Venus thing. That's why we're doing this show tonight. Because
I think Sharush is trying to come in now. Is
oh
that
no,
what
I
that
just
is?
called him. I'm trying to get him to join. I just
Oh,
called
okay,
him.
okay.
All right, it must not have worked. All right, but
That's what I was hearing. Then okay, all right.
yeah, that was me. Okay, cat just open the door. Hold on. Don't come back. All right. But nah. Shoot, my ruling planet is Venus, and so my ruling planet on my whole chart is Venus, and then my energy is ruled by Mercury, and both of them are retrograde right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I want to do something because I'm loving the whole consistency thing because being consistent with this is leading to consistency in other areas of my life, right? So I'm like,
I
I'm just
got
gonna
you.
show up. What can I do that I know I can do, even though I'm exhausted right now? Oh, Synastry, I
Right.
can do that. Let me
Yes.
get this bubble real
Yes.
quick.
Peace and love, Zahra. This is Yoni. I was just trying to figure out how can I find you on Telegram. I put your name in, and I can't seem to find you there. Um, could you give me the link or some information regarding that? Because I really want to follow you on Telegram. Peace.
Okay. Can you? I'm still learning how to use this thing. Can you search for "Talk Moorish to Me"? Right, and then there's a bunch of people in there. In fact, the button right there, the button right there, it says CalifaMedia.com, right?
Yeah, but it was too.
You can hit that button and go into any recent video, and they'll have a link to the Telegram right there. Wait. Even wait a minute. Doesn't this thing in my bio? I think it does. Let me
I think
see.
so.
Yeah, I think they have it in the bio.
I think
I
so.
can't see my dang
Yeah.
bio. Yeah, I know they made me put it up in here. I remember that. Edit profile. Yeah, it's right there. It says Forever Zahra. So, and it's all one word, Forever Zahra. The F is capital, the E is capital, and the Z is capital. Zahra. But yeah, if you really want to find everything that we're doing, like right now, it's a group, Talk Moorish to Me. And that's, you should be able to find that. But I don't know, because other people, I've had to send them the link. I don't know why they have us create a link if I gotta send it to people. Like, I thought I could just share it and be done with it. But thank you for your interest. And if you know
Absolutely.
what I'm about to do. Oh shoot, I can't do that. I'm just acting like I got access to all kinds of crazy stuff. Anyway, but yeah, you can go onto Telegram and search for the Talk Moorish to Me group. Okay, but the back to the Uranus North Node conjunction coming up this year. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, actually, before I get to that, before I get to that.
Okay, yeah, I just found it in the bio. Peace and
Okay,
love.
beautiful. Islam, that's what's up. Yay. I love when stuff works out. But okay, so she went through her list 76, 91, 2008, right? I'm like, that's it? That's all you got in this year? Oh, you young. Okay, let me go back a little further. And I noticed a trend. This happens every 15 years. The nodes line up
Right.
with Uranus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay. And I was gonna go through and try to be like, okay, what happened in this year? Because it was like 41, what was it, 56, stuff like that. And then 1 and 6, 1 and 6, that was like the pattern or whatever. But I'm like, no, let me go back, way back to something that I'm actually interested in. Right. So looked it up. The North Node was in Taurus the year Noble Drew Ali passed form.
Mm.
Right. That's
Okay.
one.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
one. The North Node, the year he passed form, right? 1929. We are at that exact degree tonight on the same day.
Oh wow.
So January
Okay.
22nd, 1929, the North Node was like 27, 28 degrees Taurus. Tonight, right now, is 27, 28 degrees Taurus on January 2nd,
Mm.
2022, 93 years later. No, that was 93
Mm.
years ago he was born. So yeah. All right. No, 93 years after
Wow.
he passed. Yeah. So I'm just like,
Right.
wow, that's interesting. And
Very
what
much so.
happened? What happened? When the North Node was in Taurus during that time. It had just entered. That's crazy. It had just entered Taurus when he passed. Because you remember the 29th degree is like the last degree. 30 and 0 are the same.
Right. Right.
So, and we're at the 28th, 29th, 27th, whatever degree. We just entered into it, right? What happened during the transit of Taurus during this time? Do you know? Anybody in the audience? Come on now.
That's
This is a
interesting.
good one. I'll just answer it because I'm too excited. The country went bankrupt.
Oh, you know what? I'm
During that
forgive me.
19, remember it's a 2.5 year transit. So it entered
Absolutely.
Taurus like 1920, late 1928, right? So we'll say 1929. And that's when it crashed, right? That's when the system failed.
Absolutely.
They didn't actually admit it until
Absolutely.
1933,
It's
that kind of thing.
231. Oh, 30. I thought it
That
was
was that two
31.
and a
Okay,
half year
33.
period when the North
There you
Node was
go.
in
There
Taurus
you go.
and the Moors knew who they
Got
were.
you.
I'm
Got
just
you.
saying.
Got you.
And so what's going on
That's
now? Let's
powerful.
fast forward 93 years
Yeah.
later when the North Node is in the same spot, right? What's going on now?
Yeah.
Metaverse.
Right.
Remember we were going through the list?
Right.
Microsoft in 76, Website is 91. Facebook. The
Right.
last time this happened. The last time this happened, and now Facebook is now trying to drag you into a fake world. Fine, you better go somewhere because you can't stay here, and you have nowhere else to
If
go.
people really, people really, picking up on that, Aboriginal people, Asiatics, like,
That's what's
we
up. I
want
like
to
to
do
hear
this
that.
too. It's like, man, come on, man, let's get back
Come
to the
on, let's
roots.
go into
You
the
know what I'm
fake
saying?
world with our fake money and our fake everything. Yeah, that's perfect for you because you ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
I mean, Earth, right? And now that
That's
I was telling
crazy.
Sarush a couple of weeks ago, that boxcar thing makes sense. Like, how is that going to work? You know? Oh, they just sitting up in there marinating in their filth while they're in their fake world.
Yes.
That's why we can
Right.
smell them.
Right.
I mean, if anybody else
Wow.
I got a few theories about what that means, and that's like the only one where they're still alive. I don't know why I'm laughing at that. Maybe I believe in justice. For real.
I think we all do in
Which is
one
something,
way
if I
or
think
another.
about it, Venus rules both of those,
Yeah.
love and justice, huh?
Yes. Mhm.
Sure
Mhm.
do.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I just thought that
And
was
it, and it
interesting.
had
Like, oh,
and it, and
y'all really about to try this, you know.
well,
Meanwhile,
the sword
value of
has to swing sooner or later. The
yeah, it's
sword
got
has
to.
to swing.
Yeah, it's like
Sooner or later.
how can you crash again if you already bankrupt? You're how does that work? Where do you have to go for real? And then at the same time you're engaging in south node activities, right? Let us try not to abuse the Scorpio too much. But the South Node is in Scorpio. And what is the United States doing right now? They poking at people, trying to start a fight. Not saying start Scorpios start fights. I'm just saying they poke at people, right? That
Yes.
kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to. Where's you going with this one? Okay. Yeah. Right. I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Let's keep it kind, all right?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
pretend there's a
Right. Right.
Scorpio in the room,
Absolutely.
that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah. It
So
makes
I'm
you
just like,
think
of
though.
course. So if we want to know what the United States is about to do, they about to do the easiest thing, which is go to the South Node route, which is what you're supposed to be leaving behind, right?
Right.
And again, you can see
Right.
the ripples, right? All these sexual secrets are coming out, right? I'm wondering what's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen with this Ghislaine Maxwell thing because she got convicted, right? And supposedly she
Yes.
got, what was that thing called? A dead man switch, where if anything happened to her, all
Yeah.
the names get released. And perfect
Whoa.
timing, right? Perfect. It's like, did y'all set this up? This is looking scripted. Not that I care, but it's just like, that's cool. That's cool. I see what y'all, it's like a ritual. Okay. I can see that too.
It
You know?
should be almost look like that though. It should
Huh?
almost look scripted. It should
Yeah.
almost look scripted. And I think it should. I think it because it's so fake. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason I think it's because your awareness is is so your eyes are seeing so clearly. That's why it looks fake because you see it. But most people don't see it. They don't have you know what I'm saying. They don't see it from the same trajectory. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's different. It's totally different to them. You know what I'm saying? So now it's supposed to look fake because all of it is fake. That's what you're dealing with the Matrix. That all of it,
Yeah.
like
Good point.
you something about the movie. Like you can't. So what exactly? Where are we? So are we here or not here? Well, we know this ain't it. Well, maybe is it, or it's not it, or did we come out of it, or are we going into it? You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Now
So,
you messing with my head.
right. That's what.
Okay. Yeah. I got
Yeah.
some things to,
Are
to
we
mull
in the
over.
mother's womb, or we about to come out of the mother's womb? Again, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And people, you know, we ain't even talk about relationship wise. That's man, please. Nobody knows head from tails right now. Nobody, it's just I just know what I want. Everybody can tell you what they want. But nobody won't talk about what they willing to sacrifice. to get it or have it. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's
it's
hard
about to
out here
get
in
a
these streets.
whole lot worse.
Oh yeah,
Cause
absolutely.
it's the Scorpio Taurus axis. It's like, okay, one rules Venus, one rules Mars, right? We're talking about
Right,
relationships right there, and
right,
both of them
right.
rule sex. You know,
Yes,
for
yes.
real. If you think about it, both of them do. Cause I mean, you know, what is that? April showers. That's
Bring
Aries. Bring May flowers.
May
Oh, you mean when all
flowers.
the
Right.
seeds have sprouted? You know,
Oh, I never thought about that. Right, right. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense.
And everybody, you
Yeah,
know,
that does
Scorpio. I
make
mean, that
sense.
rules the sexual organs. Come on now.
Right.
So, yeah, people about to get like super duper sensual, and they're not going to be compromising about it. So I don't
Okay, so
know.
that makes perfect sense. To what, okay, all right. I'm glad you said that because that makes some of my dreams make perfect sense. And that's very funny that you would say that. And then here's another thing that
What's
and
up?
we're not picking on Scorpios. Every Scorpio
Disclaimer.
that you know, the first thing, yes, the first thing they will deny is that you know sensual things aren't big to me. Like that's the first thing they if you don't know anything about the zodiac, you'll say, well, you know the Scorpios are very sexual, explicit or whatever. But when you meet a Scorpio, the first thing they don't want to deal with is that's not really a part. I've heard that before, but that's not really a part of me, and I always find that funny. Like the one, like everybody knows that, but nobody wants to face that. But anyway,
I think all
let's
signs do that. I think all signs do that. Like
you
Gemini
think so?
swear they don't talk
Okay,
that much. Leo swear they humble.
please. Nah, come on, now. You know
Right.
we love
Virgos
to
are
shine.
fun.
We love you know we love to shine. We love to
No, I think every sign
but
does that. You know how Aries, I ain't got no temper, right?
I don't care about being first. Okay, right,
Right.
right.
I don't have to
The
win. That
cancer
kind of
says I'm
stuff.
not emotional. I don't have feelings. I
Cancer,
don't
I don't
feel.
care.
Yeah. one of my one of my favorite rappers, when God bless his soul, Sean Price said one time, he's a Pisces. He said, the interview asked him, "Brother, do you believe?" He said, "Brother, I don't believe in anything." And he said,
Right.
"Okay,
A
let me ask this
Pisces.
another way. Do you believe in that?" Right. That's what made it so funny. Like, I don't believe in nothing. Right. Okay.
Right.
Right. You
You're the
chasing
trash. You're the
anything
trash can of the zodiac, but you don't believe nothing. All right.
that. Absolutely. So it makes you think. It makes you think.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested always in seeing where things are headed. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back to start looking at my chart even more, try to figure out these red lines more. Um, little by little, it started to pick up. It started like, okay, now I can see how this stuff is, you know, every day like it's running me down. And this little app called the pattern that we was talking about said you go through this cycle that happens every 19 years in your life, and it's asking you whether you're going to get on board and move to the next level, or you just want to continue in the same cycle for the next 19 years. And when it did that, it brought me back to a specific spot. I was like, man, that's crazy how they did that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go back to a specific spot when it's that exact, and that's why we brought up the thing about Noble Drew Ali and being able to measure it to the dot to the same time, to us being in the same night, it means something different. It lets you know, like, this is how the energies were, and they pretty much they still are. They don't. It doesn't really
Right.
change for the most
Right.
part. Yeah, this is like cyclical. Yeah, so I didn't mean to go off on that long tangent, but yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no, you
yeah.
good. I
No,
mean, that's
no.
fitting, because people might want to be looking back to 20, what was it? 20, I want to say end of 2012 through 2014, right?
Mm,
What was going on in your
mm,
life, because that's when the nodes placements were flipped. So the South Node was in Taurus, and the North Node was in Scorpio, right? So they like, yeah, look at that because you might be getting ready to get a reversal of whatever went on, right? And I dropped the phone when she said that because the exact same situations that were in place then are in place now. It's really weird, right? Yeah.
Wow.
So what was that? 7 years ago? Something like that? 7, 8 years ago? I
Making me think real hard right now. But go
let
ahead.
me
Yes.
see. I think I had just I okay, so end of 2012 going into 2013, right? So I think it was February, crazy. February of 2013, I moved to California, right?
Mm.
And end of 2014, I left California. That's why I dropped the phone. Like, are you what? Right? And the thing that I was like
Mm.
tripping about was because I kind of got a air quote invitation to come to California. One, to do some work for my sister, right? And
Right.
because I had her cat. Because I don't know what he was.
Mm.
I guess he was her husband. I don't know. She had a cat and he forgot to mention that one of his children was allergic to the cat before she moved into the house, right?
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
So the cat came and moved in with me. And then I was like, oh, and then she was like, that was in 2012. So then at the beginning of 2013, February 2013, I took the cat back to her in California, right? I have her cat right now, and I'm waiting for her to come get her cat.
Oh, that's crazy.
Do you understand? So when
Yes,
the
that's
nodes were
crazy.
switched, I took the same cat. It's the same cat.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
took the cat to her, and
I'm
now she
already
has to
there.
come
I'm
and
already
get
there.
him.
Come back and get it.
Huh?
No, no, I get it. No, I'm saying like I get it. I follow
Yeah.
what you're saying. Perfect. You didn't have to break it down. I saw it like yeah,
I'm
it's like
sorry. I'm like, hey, I'm
a
breaking it
total
down for the
reversal.
audience.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Not the YouTube
wow.
audience, not the audience here. I'm just like, there
I
was
got
something
you.
else that was happening. It was something else happened. There was something else happening. I can't remember what it was. I just know it had something to do with Kudjo. And now I'm working with him
Mm.
again. It was something else happened. But I just was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, and then so they like, okay, it's gonna be a reversal. Like, what else happened during that time period? Oh, I started Califa Media. I'm
Mm.
like, oh God, what does this mean? Hopefully something good,
Wow.
So far stuff is going good
Absolutely, absolutely.
because there was
But
that new
you've been
moon.
preparing for something big. You kept saying you've been
Yeah.
buying all this new equipment and everything. Yeah, so you've been preparing for something. So yeah, that's
And I
right in
got a little
line.
taste of it,
Yeah.
a ripple or something with this the full moon that just happened Monday,
Yeah.
which I
And
thought was
Leo.
wonderful. It was a
Yeah.
full moon in Cancer, moon sign
Oh,
on
and
the moon's
Cancer. Okay.
day.
All right.
I'm like, that was just
Mm.
beautiful. And then I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
this week, right? So that was Monday. There was a full moon in Cancer. Didn't think nothing of it, right? And then what was it, Wednesday or Thursday? I'm checking my I left the message about it on my Instagram. But I'm checking my
Mm-hmm.
accounts like, oh, I'm seeing some increases. What's going on? And then Kudjo does a show where, you know, this guy is talking all this mess about Califa Media. And
Mm.
so I make a response video to it, right? And 3 days pass, and I'm just like checking my platforms. Like, I can't stand negativity. I don't like drama because
Right.
drama comes to me whether I like it or not. Leo Moon, Libra Ascendant. I got enough drama, right? So
Yes, Lord.
yeah, the Ascendant, like, oh,
I'm sorry.
you
I'm
must
sorry. I'm
have a
sorry.
peaceful life. No, my goal in life is to find peace because it's just pure
Yeah,
chaos
yeah,
around me at
yeah.
all
Better
times, that
believe.
kind of thing. But
Better believe.
I'm
I
just like,
feel
oh,
you.
look at that, right? And I'm like, what happened recently? Because I prefer to keep a low profile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this happened because didn't nobody know who was running Califa Media. Everybody thought it was Kudjo, right? So now I came out and exposed myself. Why did that happen? Because there was a full moon in my 10th house.
Mm. It is.
I'm just like, I didn't even
That
notice
makes
it
it.
until I was like, why did all this stuff
Yeah.
just happen over the last 3 days? All this crazy stuff,
Wow.
right?
That's awesome. That's
Yeah. So
awesome
I'm
right
just
there.
like, okay, this ain't no stuff to play with for real. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah. And it's encouraging. It's encouraging,
Islam.
yeah, that it, it's not all for naught, but it's worth the hard work that you're
Yeah.
putting in to try to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always so much going on. Just people say so much these days that trying to see what's gonna stick on the wall. What's gonna just throwing stuff up there
Yeah.
about anything,
Yeah. It was
and
ridiculous.
it's sad. Yeah,
I
we did
mean,
we
it
did
was
a
like, Dad, every single part of this is incorrect. You made
right,
all of this up because none of it's even close, And then
right,
you didn't do it to just me. You did it to Roz too, Sister Roz. So
not
yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
not
So
fair.
Kudjo runs
We did
Califa
we did
Media
talk
and
about
Taj Tariq Bey, he's doing all the work on RV Bay, even though it's named after somebody else.
oh, is that what, yeah, see, that's somebody. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he
Wow.
said. That's what he said. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
so
That's yeah. Yeah. We talked, on the radio this week. We did talk about friendship, both shows, and astrology, and how they intermingle, how they mix together, and you know, my 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 brother-in-law, we dealt with a lot of different issues. But when you actually break down what a friend is and get down to those specifics, it's not as easy as it seems. For real, because we all have the word expectations is the difference. We all have expectations of what we feel like you should be doing and should not do as our friend, and that's really what it comes down to. But so often it seems like there should be a lot more that should draw us closer together, especially if we're Moors and we're about building. It seems like there's a lot more that should draw us closer together than apart if we was taking time to study and to understand each other better. But I got to go a long spiel about that. It's sad sometimes. Somebody fly off the mouth and just say anything. It's like, bro, where you get that from? Like it has no rhyme or reason to it. You just talking. But such as it is, people are gonna be people like this.
yep.
Anyway.
People, and didn't they make a song about that? People are people.
Yeah. Yes,
Very good song.
absolutely.
But
So
yeah. But yeah, you can crash into them or you can go around them. And that's what we're about to talk
right.
about tonight. The whole Synastry thing.
Yeah.
And I had dropped a bunch of pictures in here for tonight's chat, but I put them in Sarush's window. Because I thought I was talking to
Okay.
everybody. So I'm trying to
Okay. All right.
figure out how to get all of this stuff switched
Get them
over.
back. I got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I forward this? I'm trying to see. Will he let me just send it to a group? Let me see. Oh, it says forward. Oh, what? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Yo, wow. Okay. I can just forward it to the group. Okay. So, we're about to do Synastry. Oh, there goes Sarush. Yeah, I know. Well, he right on time. That's what's up.
Isn't he?
Let me wait. I'm
Isn't he?
suspending that last statement. Hold on. Okay, yeah, he right on time.
Peace, peace.
Yeah.
Islam,
Peace.
welcome.
Peace.
Came on
Islam.
here. That's what's up.
Islam.
All right. Yeah, we're about to
How
get
are you,
into the
my brother?
Synastry thing. Yeah, what's going on? Let's catch up.
Yeah.
While I get all this stuff going on. Oh yeah, we were talking about the full moon that happened this week. that was this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today is the
Yeah.
22nd. Wow, time.
Part of that full moon was in Leo too, and I'm trying to say you
Yeah, it
said
was.
Cancer, but
I'm
you
like, doesn't
skipped
this
over
count
it.
as a new
You
moon?
skipped, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You should have been on. You should have been blazing on fire. You know what I'm saying? Full moon
Oh
in
yeah.
Leo.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Let's go
yeah,
deeper. So it was in Cancer, right?
yeah. Mhm.
My 10th house is ruled by Cancer, but it's at the end of Cancer, right? So
Okay,
it's
okay.
yeah, it starts in. Oh, why am I telling you? If you go into the Telegram, that's a lot is the greatest. That's the thing I just figured out. Oh, I could just forward it over to y'all. I just sent y'all my chart. You can just see it for yourself. Um,
I like
so yeah,
that.
if you go into the Telegram, you can see my chart and just click on it and it gets big. And you can see right at the
How
top.
did you do that? Yeah, go
Do
ahead.
what?
Yep. Yeah.
How I do
You get
what?
that little small chart, like the little tiny little chart
Snip.
like that. Like, okay,
I snip and
I
then you
like
got
that.
the button on the snip thing and it says copy to your clipboard and I pasted it right into Telegram. This thing is like way too easy
Okay,
to use.
all right.
Yeah. It's just a
Okay, I
snip.
got you. All right,
So you
all
see right
right.
there at the top, my midheaven is in Cancer. Right smack dab. It starts right smack dab in the middle of Cancer. Right. And okay,
Right.
this thing did not say what the degrees were, but I'm gonna look it up real quick. So the exact degrees of the last full moon go to my ephemeris. 22. So I'm gonna get the degrees. That was just January 19th, the moon. Okay. Huh? January 19th, 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I must be looking at something wrong. It says January 2022. I'm looking at it. Oh, this geocentric. No wonder. Like, what is this? Okay, no wonder. I'm like, dang, what the bleep was this? Closed all my charts.
You looking
Quiet.
for the degrees of the full moon in Leo?
Yeah. No, the last full moon that just happened. The one that happened Monday.
Yeah, it was
It was in Cancer.
yeah, it was Cancer then Leo, and then it went. It was like this moon app says 66.55 degrees before it. Are you looking for the Cancer degrees?
Yeah, like what degree was it in Cancer? Was it like 66? Let me see.
Oh, that's the
Two.
altitude. I'm looking at this app.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Okay, so why is it saying Wednesday? What am I looking at wrong? Monday, January 17th. That's what I'm looking at wrong. I'm looking at the 19th. Okay, there we go. I got it. So it was at 15 degrees of Cancer, right smack dab in the middle of Cancer. Wow. All right. And yeah. So it happened in my 10th house, which starts at some degree of Cancer. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't need to look at it. I have it right here. But that's too dang small. I can't see it. Oh yeah, mine. Okay, so it was like right slightly before it's my 10th house. So it went into my 10th house. Um, while it was filling up, I guess. Um, but anyway, so when it moved into my 10th house, it triggered everything in there. No matter if it was in Leo, which my moon and my Saturn are. So this full moon triggered my house of career where my moon and my Saturn was sitting right there. And then it crossed over it like a couple of days later because it went right into Leo after it opposed the sun. Um so yeah, I'm wondering what's getting ready to happen just because all of that stuff got triggered because it's a ripple. You might see something immediately, but this dealing with Saturn too, and it's opposing the other Saturn. The transit Saturn is opposing my natal Saturn. So I'm just like, oh, I need to look into some stuff. I don't know what that means, but it's a whole lot of good stuff happening so far. So
Yeah,
so yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I'm having fun. You know, coming out the shadows type of thing.
Yeah,
All right.
brother Beer.
I know I'm probably like interrupting the whole convo. But I just want to say peace, bro. It's good to hear your voice, man, and see you here, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, brother. Same here, man. Same here. Good to hear from you, man. So straight up, yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So I've said it's good to be back. You know, back on East Coast time, back in the city limits for real, for real. You know, so it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back.
And you
Yeah,
back in DC?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Back for a while.
That's
Back
what's
for a
up.
little while. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
good little minute.
But nah, you right on time, Sarush. We about to get into the synastry part.
Sweet.
Yeah. Um. So go through a couple notes first, because I figured this is gonna be kind of useful because as we were saying, the whole north node, south node being in the on the axis of intercourse, basically, right? Um. So people might want to have tools available to you know, watch their own backs, right? Or even help their friends and family protect their loved ones, that kind of thing, right? So I got some notes real quick. Let's see. All right. So let's see. So first part about synastry, you need to know your own chart, or it's like there's really no point, right? You can be finding these people that look great on paper, but they do not work for you, right? Um, is somebody's stuff up? Because I keep getting feedback. Oh, okay. So for yourself, you should know your triggering aspects, and by that I mean positive and negative, right? Um, natally, and like, okay, if you really keeping track of your stuff, oh, when the sun is over here or the moon is over there, like a beer, you always come out when the moon is in water. That's good.
Oh
You
my
track
God.
your trends. That's good. That's good for whoever got to deal with you, that you let them know that, so they be like, oh, okay, either I can handle that, or I gotta bounce. So it's good to know
Yeah.
yourself before you even
Yeah.
start on this stuff, right? Synastry is, go ahead and study the other person's chart, and then you're going to take both of them and superimpose them upon each other, right? But
Mm.
most people, they only do it once. I do it twice because it just gives me two different readings. When I do, like, I'm gonna take the woman's chart and superimpose the male chart on hers. Then I do another one where I superimpose her chart on his, because it'll give me a different reading, right? I stumbled on that by accident. I
Mm.
stumbled on synastry by accident, right? Um, which is funny because the next part I got on here is karmic aspects, right? Right. So the examples I'm gonna be using while I'm speaking on these, because I know them the best, are myself and the monster I always bring up. All right. And this
All
was
right.
he's why I went into synastry, because I'm a Libra. I'm trying to be diplomatic. It's like, no, something ain't right. I can get along with most people, and something's just not gelling with us. What's going on, right? And so I stumbled onto synastry trying to figure out what was going on. Found out I had to just get away from this guy, right? And we will be going into that. All right.
Mm.
So, um, karmic aspects, actually I'll get to that later. So key placements are your relationship planets. All right. So for the male, actually for everybody, it's going to be Venus. That tells how you deal with pleasurable pursuits, right? But for the male, it also represents his ideal, what he thinks will be his ideal woman, right? For the female, that would be Jupiter, right? And as far as like Mars goes, um, Mars indicates how a man will act in a relationship. And for a woman, it indicates what kind of man she's attracted to, while Jupiter represents the actual guy she's supposed to marry, that kind of thing. Um, Other key placement is the ruler of your seventh house, right? What is it and where is it? Need to know those, okay? Second thing, the condition of that seventh house, right? Again, the Lord, where is it? Are there any planets in that house? Are they conjunct? And the condition of the seventh house also indicates the level of faithful or faithlessness. All right. Let's see. Okay. So some green flags I look for when I'm looking in a chart, right? Um are actually before I get to that, um the first thing I look for when I read charts, I read them individually and then I combine them, right? And next part I do, I look at your cardinal points, first seven, fourth and 10, because that's your lifestyle, right? Yourself, your home, your relationships, and your career, right? So I'm gonna look at your lifestyle, right? Especially the seventh house because it indicates the other side that people are going to have to deal with, right? Like Libras, don't make them mad, or you got to deal with the Aries, that kind of thing. Um, then I look at the moon, right? The condition, placement, all that stuff. Venus, Jupiter for Venus for everybody, and like I said before, and then Jupiter for women because that indicates her husband, and then Mars to see um, how the guy acts in relationships and hints of abuse, right? Um, yeah. Okay. So some green flags. I'm just giving y'all a quick breakdown, and it's gonna all make it's like a glossary. I'm reading you the glossary before we look at the charts. All right. Some green flags I look for are K2, the south node, right? South node conjunct the moon, Venus, or it's in the seventh house. Because the south node indicates, stuff that you could take it or leave it in this life because you had enough of it in your past life or in your childhood, right? So desire was satiated before you got here, right? Um, the other thing, another green flag is fixed moons, right? With one exception, and I'll get to that. I say fixed moons because, especially in women, but okay, so moon is your mind, how you think. Mercury is too. Um, but it's also your emotions, right? How you think on an emotional level. Um, and for women, it indicates her feminine nature. All right. And men, I guess it would indicate how he wants to be nurtured, that kind of thing. So fixed moons, right? They're quote unquote lazy daters. All right. Once you have their attention, you know, as long as you don't mess up, they're not gonna go through the trouble of trying to detach from you because their emotions have been fixed. Get it? Except it's true for Scorpio too. It's true for Scorpio, except I don't know if you want that. If you want someone who you know will never leave you, get a Scorpio, but know that you can never leave them either. The other ones, yeah. Scorpio, no. All right. They get attached. Like that's stalker type energy. My daughter's a Scorpio moon, and yes, I work with her and let her know this stuff, right? Like watch out for this, watch out for that, right? But her moon is in her fourth house, so that's saving her from a lot of stuff. All right. Okay. So red flags. Like I said, how K2 conjunct the moon, Venus, and or in the seventh house indicates somebody who's going to be really faithful, right? Um, the opposite is true. All right. Um, before I go into that, all of these placements that I'm talking about is, unless I say otherwise, these are as if these placements are acting in a vacuum. You might have some other stuff going on, either weakening it or strengthening it. So for instance, um, the K2 conjunct moon, all right? I actually know somebody who has that. But actually, okay, but according to his what is that? I did his human design. He's what they call for the community, if that makes sense. That's what the young folks say nowadays.
I caught that. Yeah, I caught
That's what
that.
I'll be saying.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. You said they said like, oh yeah, oh, I looked it up, like, oh yeah, K2 conjunct the moon, you've been emotionally satisfied. So if you get a partner, you don't feel no need to stray because you came into the relationship emotionally satisfied, right? So you don't need to stray outside. But the other thing, the red flag is Rahu. So the North Node, the obsession planet, so-called planet, conjunct those same planets. So Rahu conjunct or South Node conjunct Moon, Venus, or the seventh house. And while this person has the Moon conjunct the South Node, which makes them faithful, the North Node is in their seventh house. So I don't know what that means. I'm not into this person like that. Like we ain't at that level, but I'm just like, whoa, interesting. Maybe if I get to know you better, we'll see what that means. But I don't know you like that at this time, right? So yeah, those
Right.
are flags. So the green flag would be if K2 or North Node is conjunct Moon, Venus, Saturn. That's great, right? This indicates that this person is loyal, right? Even just as a friend or an employee or something. They ain't gonna go off, stealing stuff or giving stuff to people that's supposed to be for you. Um, let's see, and that's because Rahu, since it's obsessive, is also always chasing emotion, which is the moon, pleasure, Venus, or relationships, being in the seventh house. And I know about that part because I have North Node in Libra. So I get the whole chasing relationship stuff, but not like that because it's in the first house. So I chase relationships with myself. Um, so other red flags are the Mars placements. You need to look and see where your Mars is and their Mars, what condition it's in, right? Especially retrogrades. Got to be careful with those because retrograde Mars is like suppress, depending on where it is and what else is going on, but in a vacuum, it's suppressed like frustration, right? So if you have, and we'll get into this, if you have Mars in a hot sign or an emotional sign and it's retrograde, or if the person you're dealing with has that, you know that they might blow up at you out of the blue because that's Mars. It's impulsive, that kind of thing, because it's retrograde, so they holding it in, right? And also other red flags are Scorpio / eighth house placements. All right. These are not negatives. None of these are negatives. It's just stuff to look out for, right? Um, so like the Scorpio and or eighth house placement, it means like emotional intensity. This is if your stuff falls, I guess it could be both, either one. It indicates like in a natal chart and a composite chart, emotional intensity, and it's not bad if you like that kind of stuff. It may be difficult to escape, right? But it offers the opportunity for extreme growth, right? Because if you and this person can go through whatever situation you're going through and you all got eighth house placements in each other chart, it will either result in a murder or an enlightenment, right? Y'all might never speak to each other again, but you both come out better people, or this ends up that murder suicide thing. This is where these come from, right? um let's see, yeah. All right, so yeah, now to put all that together by actually looking at a chart. And like I said, I know my stuff, so, and everybody loves a train wreck, so we're gonna go through this thing I went through. I should look up and see what year it happened. That would be interesting to know. But okay, so if you go into the Telegram, let me you should be able to see my chart, the wheel, and my chart, the aspect staircase thingy. All right. I know there's a proper name for it. I just don't know it right now. All right. So, knowing my own chart, I'm gonna jump into it real quick. So I have a couple of green flags. um, I have Venus and Venus conjunct the South Node, and the South Node is in my seventh house. And yes, I'm like I've told people, yeah, I'm like murderously loyal. You know, that's why I don't like getting attached to people, because it's really hard to let them go. That kind of thing. And the Leo moon don't help. I have a fixed moon, a lazy dater. I guess I got another one. Dang. So yeah. Um, what else? And if you want to make it bigger, you just click on it. You can make the chart bigger. So I, like I said, to do the chart, so I look at the cardinal points first, first, 7, 4th, and 10th. So first house, I have Libra rising, big into relationships. Then looking at the 7th house and the condition of the 7th house. Oh, the ruler of the 7th house is in the 7th house. That's great. And look at that. The ruler of the first house is also in the 7th house. And the ruler of the whole chart is Venus. So a big old giant throbbing heart. All right. That kind of thing. um, so yeah. And then looking at the other cardinal points, yeah, it's bad, you know. My father used to say it. I think he cursed me. He said there's no one good enough for you. And I don't think it's like that they're not good enough. It's just that it's me, that kind of thing. You know, maybe I was born in the wrong time or something. I don't know. But let me see. So what is the two axes? So 4th house in Cancer. I'm sorry, 4th house in Capricorn, 10th house in Cancer. So 4th house works hard to maintain a home, right? Or to maintain the structure of the home. And what is that? 10th house is in Cancer. So whatever you're doing is probably going to have something to do with home or women or nurturing. I work from home, right? So then after I look at the cardinal points, I look at the 7th house, because that's going to be the other side you have to deal with, Aries. All right. I used to have a really bad temper. I called it atomic. It was bad, right? And because I'm chill, right? It takes a lot to tip me over. This is like true of a lot of, or not all Libras. It takes a lot to unbalance them, but once you do, it takes a lot to right them, to get them from those scales from shaking, so they flip out, right? It's bad. And then I have Mars right there, exalted in its own sign, or in its own sign. It's not exalted; it's in its own sign, right? So I get extremely mad, especially when people provoke me. I have Mars in the 7th house, so people provoke me all the time, right? But I love it because Venus is right there. All right. So I like conflict, that kind of thing, in a positive way. And I say I used to rage out, but yeah, it's been funny. You know, all this dang reading about myself, I haven't been doing that. I can't remember the last time I did it. Okay. So the next thing I look at is the moon. Just gonna go through my chart real quick. So my moon is in my 10th house in Leo, conjunct Saturn. All right. That's like one of the worst placements for a woman. All right. Because your moon is your feminine nature, right? It's your feelings. That's what women are supposed to be. And you have Mars or Saturn locking that up, right? And I remember being a child and telling my parents I'm a robot, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like I was emotionally starved. I just didn't feel anything. I guess it kind of makes me think of like an Aquarius moon, right?
Yeah.
Because think about it, it's a Leo moon with Saturn, right? So it's like a cold moon, but it's fixed,
Yes.
so it would be more like an Aquarius moon, right? It's not that I'm heartless. I just, it takes a lot to get to me to care, but once I care, oh wow, right? That kind of thing. So that, seeing that in a woman's chart, you would know like, oh, okay, this is one of those women. Because a man will handle they can handle displacement a little better just because they're not expected to be able to deal with their emotions like that, right? Um, she's not going to ask you for anything because that's locked up. Women always begging for stuff, right? So no.
Okay,
which
okay, okay.
which could be an issue because if there's a problem, she's not going to say nothing. I don't say anything, right? Because my thing is, and I should, but my thing is, I anticipate needs. I'm built like that. Like I said, a big old throbbing heart, and that South Node in the seventh house means you know how to deal with people. Like I've been dealing with people for a long time, right? So, yeah, it's like yeah, that combination. That's why I say look at the moon, and the moon is not negotiable. Always remember that, especially when dealing with relationship. It is non-negotiable. All right. With women, just multiply it in infinitum, that kind of thing. All right. And yes, I've experimented with that. We'll be going into this. All right. Okay, so what else? So I went through those key points. So looking at with doing the individual charts first, and then I'll look at the combination. So the cardinal points, looked at that, especially the seventh house, looked at that. Moon, looked at that. Look at the condition of the Venus. Okay, Venus is in the seventh house, which Venus naturally rules. Yay! It's into Aries. Boo, because Venus doesn't like being in Aries, because she's Aphrodite, and you want to put armor on her, which could be kind of sexy, but does she like it? That kind of thing. So, but it's conjunct the South Node. So, yeah, that's one of those green flags we were talking about, and I'm not really fixed on that kind of stuff, like worldly goods and all that mess. It's like, well, like I used to tell my mother, is like she's a triple Leo, like super duper materialistic, right? And but she works for it. She earned every piece of it, whatever. And she would give me like her hand me downs, which I didn't mind because her hand me downs were like, okay, I wore this $700 shirt once, you can have it now because I went and bought something else yesterday, that kind of thing. So I didn't mind. And I used to tell her, she used to be like, okay, let me buy you this jewelry, let me buy you that. I'm like, I don't like that stuff. So because okay, with the South Node, you can think of not my analogy. This is from Anne Ortley. She's an amazing astrologer, right? She says when you think of the South Node, think of a big sucking sound. All right. So whatever you were supposed to get from that planet, good or bad, you probably not gonna get it. So having Venus right there was supposed to take away my pleasure, but Mars is right there. Mars rules the South Node, right? So it kind of empowers it. So no, I don't get as much pleasure as I could, but I can enjoy myself, right? Usually people who have the South Node conjunct Venus, they can't enjoy anything. It's sucking away their ability to enjoy stuff. But I have Mars right there. So it's like kind of offsetting it. Um okay. And my Venus is in Aries. So remember, Venus in a woman's chart indicates how she is in a relationship. All right. So in my relationships, yes, I tend to be the aggressor. All right. I tend to be impulsive, and I tend to burn
No.
out quick. It starts and ends it ends as fast as it starts. That kind of stuff. No, I do not. No, I am not for the community. No, because it never has a chance to progress to that point because it starts and ends so fast. That kind of thing. Because Mars is right there with it, right? Um, okay. So for me, looking at Jupiter, because you look at Jupiter to look at the characteristics of the possible spouse, right? Yeah, this Synastry stuff is crazy because I can even show you. They even have it where you can predict like how many times you'll be married if you ever get married, and who these people are that you're gonna marry, just based on how you use the houses. Kind of crazy. And yeah, it's kind of hard for some people to do this because it's based on marriage is based on who you slept with. so so a lot of people can't use this technique, you know.
Mm.
Once upon a
Mm.
time it was possible. At least you can find your first, you know. Okay, so my Jupiter is in my 8th house in Gemini, conjunct my sun also in Gemini. So um possible first spouses. I don't know if this Jupiter represents all spouses or first. So Jupiter is in the 8th house. So whoever this is secretive, um, or hard to find, um, or a teacher, because Jupiter rules gurus, right? Might be an amazing astrologer because it's in the 8th house, that kind of thing. Um, and it's conjunct my sun. So this person probably would get a lot of energy from me because Jupiter is in its detriment in Gemini. This is opposite sign. So it's in its fall, right? So that person will get a lot of energy from me, right? Like I will be encouraging them. Hey, I could do that, you know. No problem. Um and Lilith is right there too, right? I have my Lilith in Gemini in the 8th house. So probably some filthy conversations, that kind of thing. Um let's see. And then after that, so looked at the Jupiter, and last is my Mars. And for men, that tells how he is in a relationship. For women, it indicates what kind of guys she likes to like date, but not maybe not necessarily marry because that's Jupiter. And it also in the Synastry chart indicates the possibility of abuse. All right. So my Mars is in my 7th house. Um, so oh well, my Mars is in Aries. So I like competitive guys, right? Go getters. I ain't gonna lie, I like a fit body. That kind because I don't ask for whatever I can't offer, that kind of thing. But that's my Mercury, or what is that? North Node in Libra. You want to have a beautiful self, that kind of thing. And then my Mars is in Aries. So people that take care of themselves. You ain't got to be swole or huge, just take care of yourself, that kind of thing. Um, and it's in the South Node, or it's conjunct my South Node. So this is probably somebody I got to finish something up with. All right. Um, yeah. So that's me. Did that make sense before I bring up the next person? Clear so far?
Absolutely.
Islam. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All
You
right. So
keep
now we're
going.
gonna look at
I'm listening.
the chart of the monster. All right. Yeah, I just dropped all this stuff in Sarush's chat. Okay. Forward. So there's the chart. And where is it? No. This thing is so dope. And there's the aspect boxes. Okay. So I'll go through the same thing with this one. Okay, I'm not gonna keep going back and forth like that. All right, it's gonna make me do it anyway. Okay, so first thing looking at are the cardinal points. All right, first, 7th, 4th, and 10th. All right. So yeah, this is why you need to look at people's charts before you engage with them. So first thing, Capricorn rising. That's like one of the worst rising signs you can have. Because this, hey, Alyssa Sharp, look her up. She talks about Capricorn risings. All right. Again, this everything that I discovered about this chart, I discovered after the fact. All right. Because I was just trying to figure out what happened so I never have to go through this again. That kind of thing. Capricorn is Saturn, right? So your entire chart is restriction, not necessarily of yourself, right? I think that would more be like Aquarius, right? But Capricorn itself is the restrictor. It's the one that's always imposing rules, trying to enslave people, that kind of thing. So it's like, okay, 7th house, nothing going on. So where's the ruler of the 7th house? So the 7th house is in Leo, and the ruler of the 7th house, it looks like it's in the 4th house. Wow. That actually made sense. And I'll get to that in a minute. So the ruler of the 7th house is in the 4th house. So that to me would say that this was someone who really wanted to establish a family, right? Get their legacy going. Add in the whole Capricorn thing. Capricorns are big on legacy, establishing stuff. All right. So what's going on in the 4th house? 4th house is ruled by Taurus. So 4th house is ruled by Taurus. So strong foundation, like an established foundation, right? Dug into the earth. And it was. This was the guy, remember I told you I was sitting in the garage with his mother, who was in her 60s, and that was the house she was born in. And her father had lived there for some years before she showed up, right? Yeah. So that's pretty well established. And everybody in that neighborhood knew that family. And then the 10th house, what is that? Is in Scorpio, right? So 10th house career could involve detective work, shady dealing, tax collecting, what else? I guess killing folks, birthing people. You could do that too, because the midway, hey, it's all down there, right? Yeah. And then okay, so that's the cardinal points. I'm trying to think, what was he doing? He was like assembling stuff, like for other people, like putting together furniture and all that stuff. I think that's all. And I didn't find out. I had to find this out because he was always just gone. I didn't know what he was doing. Like, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. I think I found out because he had to fill out an application for a job, and that's how I found out. It's funny I didn't even bother to ask. Like, well, I'm straight. You ain't bothering me yet. All right. So next is the 7th house, especially indicates what you got to be dealing with. Wait a minute. In his 7th house. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't ruled by Leo. It's in Cancer. Yep, it sure is. 7th house is in Cancer. My fault. So the ruler of the 7th house is the moon, and the moon was in the 1st house. This person was huge into his mom, which I had no problem with because for whatever reason, I always get along with I love other people's moms. I love my mom too, but I just love other people's moms. I really do. I get along with them usually. And yeah, this guy would not make a move without consulting his mother first. I have no problem with that because I liked I went to his mom for advice too. So I had no problem with that, right? But if you don't want your mother in your relationship, don't have a guy who has these kind of placements. Moon in the 1st house, his mother is everything, so you just gonna have to understand that. And if you don't want if you like what you see but you don't like that, you can't change that because what? The moon is not negotiable. All right. Let's see. So what's next? So, okay. Looking at the condition of the moon. It's in the first house in Pisces. All right. Um, cardinal moon, not cardinal, mutable moons. What's the nice word I can put this? Schizo? Nah, that's me. Um, it's all over the place, right? Um, meditation works great for these people. And if they don't meditate, it's a problem, you know. And yes, this guy was nuts. Not I am not making this up. It was diagnosed. He was nuts. All right. Found that out later too. From his mom. Let me see. And then Venus, yeah, this is just the individual chart. Venus is in the it says the fourth house in Taurus. That's an excellent placement. All right. Because Venus rules Taurus, right? So it's in his home sign. And then it's in the fourth house. So he had a beautiful home life, which he did. His mom was a Libra. All right. He had a lovely, I mean, she did everything with him, which is funny because his son is conjuncting his almost conjunct his Venus. And it was so cool because he was like, yeah, my mom did everything with me. His dad was there. She was there. He was there. But he was like, yeah, my mom did everything with me. She even was my what was that? The scoutmaster, den mother for the Cub Scouts.
Boy Scout.
Taking the, and she was like, she took them camping, like out in the woods type camping. It's like, oh wow, you know, she that's when I fell in love with, like, yeah, I can deal with this chick, right? Um, but yeah, so yeah, the Venus is great. Um, and that's also saying what kind of woman he's looking for. So okay, Venus is in Taurus, so probably a pretty woman, right? Um, simple, simple woman, right? Um, what else would that be? Homey, fourth house, homey, right? That was me all over, right? His mother, she like she invited me to live in her. They owned property, right? And you know, she put me up in one of their houses. I'm like, oh, okay, because she liked me that much, and I guess she wanted to keep me around. It's like, all right, cool. Um, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and I kept her house immaculate, so that helped. I'm gonna play this bubble real quick.
Wow, that's so funny. I'm a Sagittarius moon. And I do be feeling like I'm a little crazy sometimes. I be needing my peace. I be needing my space. Like, I just get away from me for a while because I need that.
No, you get away. You got a Sagittarius moon. You need to get in your car and drive whenever you feel like that, right? For real. You need to travel and you'll be straight. Everybody, you know, somebody will pay for you a rental. If you come back in a better mood, you know, with bags of food, they're gonna be like, dang, we need to help her do this more often. But yeah, it's the mutability. It's unpredictable. I mean, I'm a mutable sun, you know. Thank goodness I have a fixed moon, you know. Okay, so look at the Venus. Okay. um okay, so next
Excuse me, I'm
is
sorry. I'm sorry.
not his Jupiter because he's not a woman. Um and then Mars for him to show how he was in relationships. Let me see. And his oh yeah, now I see why I brought this one up. Mars is yeah, this is lovely. Mars in Scorpio retrograde. Remember what we just went through about? Yeah. I wish I had known that before I got involved with him, right? Um, and we're about to find out. So that's an issue right there, right? You have an extremely volatile Mars. It's retrograde. And you're a Capricorn ascendant, which means you hold things, right? And if there's no people around, you forced to hold yourself, right? And you have that moon. I mean, it's a good placement because Mars rules ancient astrology. Mars rules Scorpio. but it's that emotional. It's the think of a feminine warrior. You know, Mars. Think Mars, right? What the archetype of Mars is that warrior with the spear and all that, the helmet and all that. This is him in drag, all right, that kind of thing, and it's retrograde, that kind of thing, you know. So he can't even express it, and I can't imagine because and it that did happen, and it was like quite a few funny stories that went along with that. Oh, that's great. Kudjo here. He gonna love this. He's gonna probably get a kick out of this. Okay. So we looked at his charts, and now we can go into the synastry part. All right. So I'm gonna share two charts. The first is give me a second. The composite chart with me as partner A. So all of my stuff is going to be on the inside of the circle. All right. And then the monster is partner B, the orange letter and planets. That's on the outside of the circle. Okay. And then I'm dropping the aspect chart, which shows it's just a faster way to look at how all the planets are linking up to each other. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I don't know if you can see all those red boxes. Those are all bad. All of them. And there's a lot of them. All right. Those are squares. Okay. I don't know if I read off the karmic placements. Let's shrink that. I'll just get rid of that for now. Okay. The karmic placements are, yeah. So the karmic placements, sign, houses, and planets. Squares and Saturn placements. All right. Because Saturn rules squares. All right. So any squares, any Saturn placements. And that's true in your natal chart too. Eighth house placements. That's true in your eighth house. These are all karmic placements for synastry. Eighth house placements, 12th house placements, and conjunctions to nodes, planet and house. All right. So if you go back to the aspect chart that I just dropped, the one with all of the boxes on it, and you can see all of those squares on there, right? And yeah, this mug was extremely challenging, and I grew a lot. Right? So first thing I see on this thing is my sun squares his moon, right? And looking back on it after the fact, I could see, oh, actually I have something else I wanted to read. Before I even go into this. This is perfect. I'm glad I thought about this. Okay. So this situation also, when I was studying, trying to figure out what had happened, I went and bought a book called Linda Goodman's Relationship Signs. It goes through all of the all of the combinations for this is an astrology book for synastry. All right. Okay. So it says each of the glyphs. So okay, aspect symbols. So you're looking at this box, right? It says each of these glyphs is used to represent a mathematical degree that shows how far apart two planets are and how harmonious things are between two or more people. The conjunction is that sign that looks like a cherry. All right, that means they're sitting right next to each other. The sextile, the planets are 60 degrees apart. That looks like a star. All right, like what a 6 point, like like a little asterisk. Then the trine, the planets are 120 degrees apart. That's the triangles you see. The square, the planets are 90 degrees apart. Those are the squares. And then the oppositions, the planets are 180 degrees apart. It looks like a little barbell. All right. Good. This one doesn't go into those other ones. And neither does the book. Yay. So, conjunction is a positive reinforcing aspect. It's two planets or signs almost smack dab on top of each other. The sextile looks like a snowflake or an asterisk, and it's a good thing to have in your chart. Okay. Trine looks like a triangle, is considered lucky, very lucky. It promises great things, though. Sometimes, though, it makes people take each other for granted in relationships. Trines are horrible in your natal chart, speaking personally, because I have a ton of them and it makes you really lazy. I have to fight to get up. But once I get started, I'm good. Um, okay. Square is what it looks like, a square. It represents energies that do not flow easily. It's hard to deal with, but don't be misled. Squares can create great things if you work on them, right? It's a challenge. Cuz Saturn rewards you if you live, right? um Opposition looks like two circles on a slash. The opposition is considered challenging. Relationships between people with a lot of opposition are frequently at odds. However, this is the romance of the quote unquote opposites attract aspect. Okay, let's see. And this is important with the conjunction part. Um, Conjunction is when a planet in your chart is in the same sign as the other another person's planet. See the chart below. When the planets are this close, their energies intensify. If two people have planets that are conjunct in the sign of Pisces, for example, you have twice the sensitivity and introversion in the relationship. Your personalities reflect like a mirror on a pool of shimmery water. Your relationship can be intuitive, blah 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 blah. Two in the sign of Cancer, relationship becomes changeable as the weather. When you stress the positive sign of doubled energies, you find couples who can accomplish the near impossible, activate and energize each other, and understand each other without words. Okay. All right. I brought up the conjunction because in this chart, our suns are conjunct because our birthdays are a day apart. So, and that's why I said, I have this thing. I mean, he wasn't the first Gemini guy I encountered. He was the first one I quote unquote dated, and yeah, that's when I confirmed. Oh yeah, y'all the devil, you know. So, um, okay. So an overview of harmony and disharmony. Um, Harmonious combinations: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. When planets are harmonious, they create mutual understanding between people, the likelihood of happiness and ease within relationships. This influence inclines towards mutual interests, shared goals, and most often a comfortable home. Planets that are harmonious are the least likely to promote critical misunderstandings. Disagreements are settled with simple adjustments and compromises. Matters are usually resolved readily and without a lot of fuss and hidden agendas. This harmonious flow of trines and sextiles or favorable energies seems to attract equally shared relationships where the balance of power is good and each helps the other succeed in all endeavors. All conjunctions add all conjunctions add emotional sensitivity and a strong bond of affection between the two people involved. Okay. Disharmonious combinations: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So basically everything that's on your cross with that sign's cross. When planets are disharmonious, they create more confrontation and there is less likelihood of an easy relationship. These individuals are at odds. Feelings, when injured, can create combative situations, and situations are more complex and less straightforward. These couples usually have dissimilar tastes, interests, and characters. Because of the basic differences, quarrels are often long lasting and estrangements are more frequent than with the more favorable aspects and energies. Yet there's the potential for two strong willed individuals to force each other to look at things from a different perspective and create both positive change and growth for each person. Why do aspects tend to create harmonious or disharmonious energies? Because when planets are in the same sign or compatible signs, we are similar to one another or have an innate understanding of each other. Have you ever met someone you feel you have known forever? This is most often because there is an easy flow of communication, or the two of you tend to think alike, quote unquote, feel like twins, or otherwise feel an instant knowing and attraction. These people are familiar to you at some subconscious level. Things just feel right between you, and you tend to think that because of the likely likeness of the past, your futures can be brighter together. In most cases, this turns out to be true. Or have you ever met someone for whom you had an instant dislike? You can't relate to this person. You two have nothing in common, and you seem to be at cross purposes in life. Sometimes we meet people who are opposites of us, just like our astrological opposites. We know they are all wrong. Wait, we know they are all wrong for us, and yet we can't seem to resist them. The disharmonious energies are harder to work with, and yet can certainly make for interesting, challenging, and very romantic relationships just the same. Think of the great stuff of romantic novels where the heroine can't stand the hero and yet finds him irresistible. Over time, they make adjustments, learn to appreciate their differences, and manage to live happily ever after. Sounds like growth. It won't come easy. What? Hold on. It won't come easy, but then don't we tend to appreciate most things we work the hardest for? The harmonies of love aspects are important, and they are one of the many tools you can use in life to assist your relationships. But keep in mind, um, as Linda says, I don't know who Linda. Oh, Linda, the chick who wrote this. Love can conquer all. Okay, so saying that, so you can see something and know that it's going to be a challenge. It might not be impossible, and the person might be worth it. Like she said. In this case, it wasn't. Okay. So, if we're still looking at the aspect table, the one with all the little boxes in it, because that's easier to see than that chart with all the lines all over it. So first thing, starting from the top, my stuff is going vertically. All right. His stuff is going horizontally. So first thing you see is the sun conjuncts the sun. All right. Both Geminis. Next, I'm going from my chart. My sun squares his moon. All right. And we just read that that's one, the crosses. So mutable signs are disharmonious to each other. Fixed signs are disharmonious to each other. And cardinal signs are disharmonious to each other. So my sun is mutable and his moon is mutable. So my sun is disharmonious to his moon. And it was made worse because remember, he's a Gemini too. So his moon is disharmonious with his sun too, right? So now you got two disharmonious suns messing with this dude's moon, right? And it's a moon in Pisces. So yeah, that so he had nut tendencies. This did not help the situation. All right. So still continuing across from my sun. Um, oh wow, I know that. My sun was conjunct his north node. Is that right? Sure is. Heck you know. Um, wow. So my sun, I never noticed that. My sun is conjunct his north node. So hmm, he was he was destined he was destined to always endeavor and never win me. Okay. And then my sun conjuncts his Chiron too. So I guess I was causing him some kind of pain. But hey, his son was right there to it. So my son probably aggravated what he had going on. Um, let's see. This is saying my son trined his ascendant because his ascendant is almost in Aquarius. So by degrees it trined. Um, yeah. Um, so sun trine ascendant. Yeah, I was giving energy to whatever he was trying to endeavor towards. Like, yeah, I like I said before, I support Moors. If you are sincere Moor and you like really doing something, you know, it ain't minor to me. I'm gonna support you, that kind of thing. But moving down to my moon, um, What was that? Something beeped. Okay.
Hey,
Oh,
bro.
I think we lost Sarush. I'm not Sarush, Abir. Okay. So my moon. Oh, this part gets fun. All right. This part is kind of messed up. Um, my moon squares his Saturn and his Venus. I'm not Saturn, his Saturn, his Venus and his Mars. Um, so his Venus is in Taurus, right? And wow, that's messed up. Yeah, I didn't even notice this. This dude was screwed up. And his Mars is in retrograde in Scorpio, right? Which are two pretty good placements. Those are actually good placements because Venus is at home in Taurus and Mars is in at home in Scorpio. But the Mars is retrograde, right? And it's opposing Venus. So he's like always having butting heads with the opposite sex type of thing. Um, and that's all squaring my moon. What? Okay, it said it was unavailable. That was weird. Can y'all still hear me? Can I get a clap? Hand clap.
Yep, yep.
Okay, good, good. Because it clicked out for a second. But yeah, remember the moon is not negotiable. So my sun is aggravating the sun square moon he already got going on, right? And then his Venus and his Mars are squaring my moon right back, right? Um, but and it gets a little worse. My Saturn is squaring um his Mars. So it's like all these planets are going, they're squaring, they're just fighting back and just challenge, challenge, challenge. And it was like, okay, I was raised with my father, okay? And I watched my mother um submit to him. Not like weakly, but he was like, okay, he's doing such a good job. I'm just not gonna fight with him. That kind of thing. I'm not gonna resist what he's doing. That kind of thing. But this dude was nuts, all right. And it was just one of those things. I actually said it to him. I really feel like I can't get anything right for you, right? And then I tried an experiment. It was so funny. Um, I'm gonna stop here at the moons because that's enough, right? That really was enough. Um, cause what was I about to say? Um, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I did an experiment. Um, where okay, so I'm trying to remember which placement it was that just made him just not trust me. I mean, I'm a homebody. I might even be considered a recluse. All right. Because I believe in getting the fullest exploitation of my monthly rent. All right. So I'm gonna be at the house as much as possible. And but
Right.
apparently, I'm just cheating with everybody left, right, and center. Again, a lot of mutable energy, sun in Gemini, moon in what is that? Pisces. Right there, that's not a good combination because your energy is scattered and your mind is scattered, right? Um, and then a Capricorn rising. If there's okay, so he was kind of out of control. He was always trying to control me, and I wasn't having it. It's like, yeah, try to bottle air. Let's see how far you get. That kind of thing. He tried though, but I did an experiment, and because he was always trying to get into my like social accounts. I guess that had something to do with the what is that? The retrograde Mars and Scorpio. I gotta find out your secrets type of. I gotta
Yeah.
find out your secrets, right? And it's retrograde, and I come to find out, oh, you trying to find out my secrets because of all the secrets you got, right? And my thing is, I don't want to be knowing people business, but I got a lot of eighth house placement, so people business just gravitate toward me. I find out all kinds of stuff about people. So this dude was extremely for the community on a global level. All right. It was messed up. And then the house that his mother put me up in, his ex-girlfriend found out I was up in there and tried to burn it down with me in it. Right?
Oh no.
I mean, it was like it was like, okay, you set the garage on fire. The garage is detached and there's a yard between the house and the garage. You're an idiot. You need okay. So I'm like, I ain't got to worry about this one for real. And come to find out that he had just broken up with her like 2 weeks before. And but yeah, I'm about to get into some stuff. I should have known something was up with this guy. Again, the Mars thing. I should have known. Because I swear it was less than 24 hours. Because I was escaping from some stuff. That's how I ended up in this situation. Less than 24 hours after I was in his mother's house, right? He's somewhere else. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, he's let himself into the house. No problem. I don't care. And he's sitting in my room. Oh, first he let himself into. He brought us breakfast and everything. Right. This the next night. Oh, I got there that night. This the next day. Brought us breakfast. Me and my children. And I sleep late on this was a Saturday. I sleep late. And I get a text. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He didn't come up here banging on the door, waking me up. And it was a text. Oh my God. Psycho. It was a text about an article about Janet Jackson's marriage. How she had this contract with her husband where the marriage would expire in 5 years. I'm like, oh yeah, I know all about that, right? And then he knocked on the door, like, yeah, did you get my message? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I just offered that. I know you just got here. It hasn't been 24 hours. Whatever. I just sent that because I don't want it to look like a certain situation. You know, you got children. I'm not trying to have them thinking something untoward is going on. So I'm gonna offer to marry you. Okay, that right there, I should have just been like, I'm out. It's like I know
Right.
I'm fly, but I don't think I'm that fly. All right, but I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this? Oh, let me just tell you the truth. That contract you sent me, that's the contract that Muslim men use to get around prostitution. All right. They'll sign a contract where the marriage lasts an hour. All right. So I'm good,
Uh-huh.
you know. But yeah, I'm just like, okay. But me being stupid, I'm just like, well, it's either oh, and then while he was sitting there, it was so funny. While he was sitting there, um, proposing, another knock on the door, on the front door this time. It's the police. Like, what's the police doing here? I'm not. I know I ain't want it. You know. Oh, did you not? Did you fail to mention something? So he goes down there and checks, and comes back up, and he was like, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. I sent them away. What's going on? Apparently, one of your children brought their device with them, and it has tracking on it, and your mother has tracked you to my house and called the police and said that y'all are captive in my house. I love my life. Oh my God. That's that moon in the 10th house. I can't get no peace, no privacy, right? Even when I'm running away from folks, here come the folks I'm running away from. Like, why are you chasing me? You know? Um, but yeah. Um, yeah, that was an interesting one. Um, this is part I said that Kudjo might get a kick out of. Um, what oh, everything was going great. We were having a grand on time, you know. Proposed, I'm hanging out with his mom. I'm like, man, even if I don't like you, I like your family. I'm willing to give this a shot. Accepted the proposal, right? We sitting in the basement of the house watching astrology or something, and Cujo comes up, right? And he know this this is like, what year was this? 20 I had just gotten back from California. Oh my God. Why? So you missed the first part of this, the chat, Surush, how we were talking
Right.
about the nodes. We were talking about the nodes and how one astrologer was like, go back to 20 between 2012 and 2014 and see what was going on, because this is the reversal of that nodal position. So between 2012 and 2014, the south node was in Taurus and the north node was in Scorpio. All right. And when she said that, I was like, what was going on? That's right when I moved out to California and I started Califa Media. I wound up in California because I was taking my sister her cat back, the cat that I currently have right now, and I'm waiting for her to come back and get her cat. She's supposed to be coming to get him in a few days. Right. And now this situation the story I'm about to go into happened when I got back from California. Right. So at the end of that transit. And I just thought it was funny because I'm like, that's crazy. The cat is here. Kudjo's here. It's like, what else has got to show up? You know, let me go back in my diary, see if I can find a journal or something. Anyway, so he said something how he had contacted Kudjo and he didn't like the answer Kudjo gave him, right? And I just was like, I think I actually said so. Oh, the look on his face, right? And I guess he was trying to give me a chance to fix what I just said. And he was like, well, he should have done blah blah blah. I don't know what he said. I can't remember. Like blah blah blah. I said he should have blah blah blah. All I heard was shoulda. And I'm like, well, I didn't hear the conversation. And that's when that was the beginning of the end. From then on, I was cheating with Kudjo, right? I'm sneaking out to see him at night. You know, I'm sending him all these messages and whatnot. And the experiment I did, he was constantly trying to get into all my social media accounts. And I was just resisting it because my Saturn squares his Mars. I'm gonna stop your advance, that kind of thing, right? So I finally was like, I can't stand this. I can't take it anymore. Only reason I'm not giving it to him is just I don't want to. I have nothing to hide. Give it to him. I write down all of my accounts, all of my passwords, leave it on the table. He never touches it. Right. And then it was peaceful for a couple of weeks. And I was talking to Kudjo on Facebook about something. And he sent me back a message that said fat cat dripping. Right. And I didn't respond. It was a picture of a fat cat and it was drooling.
Right.
I didn't respond. Right. Put my camera down or my phone down, go fix something to eat or something. Here come, the monster. What is this? Blah, blah, blah. I knew it. I knew something was going on. I'm like, wow. And so he starts digging through my email because I don't care. See, look at this email I found to Kudjo. It was an email from 5 years prior. That's the only email you could find because I have a business account you don't know about, But yeah. And then he broke my computer and that was the end of that and I was out. It's like, okay, you just tried to. That's like burning down my business. You broke my computer. All right.
Yeah, that's reckless.
Yeah, so that was my story with the monster. Maybe next week I'll do me and Kudjo's chart and you'll see why he like ruins all my relationships. Ever since I've known, and I'm not joking either. It's like, dude is in Canada. What's the most we could be doing? But nope, it's always something, and I know why. I know exactly why. But I'll say that for another show, so y'all will come back. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So I hope that was enlightening. Oh my goodness, it's 2 hours in. That did not feel like 2 hours. But yeah, that's all I got. Wish y'all got some questions. I hope that was clear.
Nah, it was clear.
All right.
I'm about
And
to
entertaining.
do the same thing right now.
Yep.
It's wild because I've been looking at Synastry charts with me and people on like just all levels, and like when you get you like use an app or something, it'll give you their words, And like, you
Right.
know, the apps, they be trying to make everything seem a little bit cooler than it is, you know, opposed to knowing the representation of yourself, you know. Because the app would tell you like a square is a learning opportunity. And you know, for a human like me, I'd be like, learn, let me see, you know, because I'm that curious cat, you know, and you know what they say about curiosity and the cat. And
Right.
that was like a lesson I had to learn. Like when I see squares, they could be learning opportunities, but I'm not really curious enough to find out anymore.
Right. If you don't care, I wouldn't advise it.
Right,
It's just gonna be painful. And play this
right.
button.
So you said to go back 2012, between 2012 and 2014, it's just crazy because my North Node is in Taurus and my South Node is in Scorpio. So exactly what am I looking for when I go back to this time?
Just any major events. Um, you're having your nodal return. I forgot what that meant. Oh, okay. So
Party time.
you're supposed to be examining how far you've come towards achieving whatever your north node is, right? So I don't know where your north node is, but it's gonna be you're seeking to access the value of whatever house that is in, right? So if it was in your like Sarush, yours is in 12th house. So you trying to access like tangible value in the spiritual realm, right? That kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah. So, yeah, bring it out the ethers. It don't have to be spiritual, it can be metaphysical too. So yeah.
It's such a beautiful time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the 2012 thing, that was the reversal. So it's probably something coming to you, like the example I gave earlier, or from you, depending on what end you were on last time. So last time around, when the nodes were reversed, um, I took my sister's cat to her, and this time she's coming to get him. So yeah, I'm wondering what's up with this cat. Like, why do I keep ending up with him? You're so handsome. You're a good boy. Yeah, I like this cat.
The other day you said that thing about the cats, and I thought about it, and it was like two cats running around in my yard. When you said that, you was like checking see if you got any cats. It was two cats running around too. So the accuracy is there. They keep going through the yard. I'm chilling. You know, they've been to like, oh, is this your cat? I was like, nah, I don't have no cats. But they've been running around since the summertime. Now that I think
Hmm.
about it.
I guess you got some cats. Hey, cats adopt. Hey, we did not domesticate them. Have you ever noticed most domesticated animals, their ears don't stick up?
Wow, I never noticed that.
Look at dogs and wolves, right?
Right.
Yeah, we never fully domesticated them. They domesticated us.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time for him to go though. Trying to see, okay, so what happens when I get rid of you this time? I can't wait to see. I hope I get to move again because I'm tired of being here. Shoot, I'm ready to get out of exile. But yup. All right, that's 2 hours, and I'm getting tired. Let's see. So next week, we'll see what's up. Maybe we can do some more Synastry stuff. Um, Monday, Sarush, you doing Moon Days Mystics?
Moon, Moon Days Mystic on Monday for sure. I'm gonna talk
Okay.
about this rave New Year they call it. I'm trying to get more information on it now with these neutrinos and all this all this cosmic dust. Like People was going crazy yesterday. Like, you know.
Yeah, you got direct access to the man with the answers, right? So dope. That's so wild. I mean,
It was
yeah, that's pretty impressive. Like, really? You just going straight, not to the front of the stage, onto the stage. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's how Moore is supposed to move. That's how it is in the movies, right? They always got that Moore floating around in those big old penthouse parties, right?
right.
Shoot. I
It's
guess it don't count
exciting
in the same
though.
room. Yeah. Oh, I guess Wednesday, I'm doing a Moorish mental homeschooling by the moon.
Word.
So yeah.
That's what's up.
And it works. It definitely works, and it results in way less work and way, way, way more results. I think this is like what the Norwegians are doing because their children only go to school like 3 days a week, something crazy like that, and they speak like 3, 4 languages before they get out of 8th grade, and they don't get homework. Like, all right.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. So we'll be discussing that and why it works, especially when it comes to our people, you know, taking a couple of days off instead of just grinding every single day. You're going to do this to children every single day, you know. So I found a better way. I'm not theorizing. I've actually applied it, tested it out times 4, 3.5. So yeah. All right. And on that note, I'm about to roll out. Let me find the outro. I should have typed that up too. Okay. All right. So thank you. Shout outs to everybody who joined. Me, Kudjo, Rebel, and Yoni Melanin. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us. This has been Sister Zahra Bay, Brother Abir Kanan L. I don't know where he went, and Brother Sarush L. You can contact us by going to califamedia.com, 43rdbooks.com, that's 43rdbooks.com, and madebysarush.com. Have a safe and prosperous week, and we'll see you the next time. Peace, y'all.
Peace,
Be cool.
peace.